Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a genuinely fascinating and, let's be honest, hotly debated topic. We're diving into a piece of source material called The Divergent Paths of Equal Opportunity. So let's just get right into it. The absolute core tension we're unpacking today is that friction between equal opportunity and equal outcomes. We hear these terms constantly in the workplace, in leadership seminars, basically everywhere in society. But do we actually know what they mean when we put them into practice?
Which brings us right to the big question. Does equal opportunity mean equal outcomes? You pose this to a room full of people, and I guarantee before you can even pull up the data or define the terms, someone's going to yell, but what about fairness? The author points out this knee-jerk reaction happens all the time. We're just so wired to crave fairness that we kind of blur the starting line with the finish line. We assume, hey, if the rules are fair at the start, the scoreboard has to look identical at the end, right? Well, as we'll see, the source material completely tears that assumption apart. Section 1, the gym membership myth. Why access doesn't guarantee results. So the author uses this incredibly relatable and honestly a little painful analogy to dismantle our assumptions here. If equal opportunity guaranteed equal outcomes, every gym membership would come with abs. I mean, it perfectly captures the disconnect between access and effort, doesn't it? Sadly, reality totally disagrees with our expectations. We all know people who have the exact same access to the exact same gym. The equipment is identical, the hours are the same, the climate control is identical, but the outcomes? Wildly different. The author uses this undeniable reality of human behavior to make a larger point. Having the membership card is literally just step one. It dictates absolutely nothing about what you actually do once you step through those doors. Section 2, the starting line reality. Deconstructing the level playing field. We absolutely love the phrase level the playing field, right? It's like the ultimate corporate and societal buzzword. But picture the flattest, most perfectly manicured, totally unobstructed playing field imaginable. What actually happens when you put a group of human beings on it? Well, the author outlines 4 distinct reactions to this flat field. Listen to this progression. 1, some people sprint. They just take off like a rocket. 2, some stroll. They're enjoying the scenery, taking their sweet time. 3, some take a detour to get snacks. And 4, and this is the best one, some realize halfway through they never even liked running in the first place, so they become the snack vendor. That pivot right there is human nature in a nutshell. You gave everyone the exact same flat field, but their individual desires completely altered how they interacted with it.
The crucial takeaway here is this: equal opportunity gives everyone the chance to run. It does not, and really cannot, guarantee identical finish times. The author is drawing a hard line between the starting gun and the finish line. The chance to run, that's the opportunity. The finish time, that's the outcome. When we try to force identical finish times, we aren't actually ensuring fairness. We're essentially just ignoring the reality of human autonomy, drive, and personal preference.
Section 3, why outcomes always differ. The 4 variables of human nature. Now, the source doesn't just leave us hanging with analogies. It breaks down exactly why outcomes diverge, even in a perfectly fair, mathematically precise system. It's a pretty brilliant map of human complexity, honestly. Let's walk through these 4 variables logically. First up, interests. The reality is, not everyone wants the same goals. Some folks want to be the CEO, others actively avoid management so they can focus on deep individual work. Second, strengths. Talent, skill, and temperament aren't copy-paste. You can't just clone a top performer's personality. Third, circumstances. Life throws curveballs, not standardized tests. We all have different health factors, responsibilities, and external pressures that shift our professional bandwidth. And finally, choices. Some people invest their bonus early, and some people decide to buy a kayak online at 2 a.m. We just make wildly different decisions with the exact same resources. And all of that leads us to a beautifully simple summary. Humans are gloriously inconsistent. The author's phrasing here is super intentional. It points out that this isn't a flaw in the system. It's not a bug. It's just a reality of human nature. The source views this inconsistency as something we should expect and actually respect, rather than something we try to engineer out of existence in the name of standardized metrics.
Section 4, access versus results, the teachable moment.
Let's actually slow down for a second and look at the critical, neutral definitions here, because this really clears up the confusion that constantly surrounds this debate. On one side, we have equal opportunity, which is defined strictly as fairness of access. Are the doors open? Are the rules the exact same? Okay, now on the other side, we have equal outcomes, defined as fairness of results. Does everyone finish with the exact same score or the same paycheck, regardless of all those variables we just talked about? The source makes it impartially, perfectly clear these are two fundamentally different concepts. You simply cannot evaluate one using the metrics of the other.
To really drive this home, the author introduces another great analogy. Expecting both is like expecting everyone with the same cookbook to make the exact same soufflé. Just think about how absurd that expectation is. You hand out a standardized tool, the cookbook. Boom, that's your equal access. But actually baking a soufflé requires timing, intuition, knowing your specific oven, and, how well you whisked the eggs. The starting tools are identical, sure, but expecting identical results is completely detached from reality.
So, what actually happens when you give everyone that cookbook? Well, some will absolutely nail it. Perfect, fluffy soufflé. Some will inevitably burn it to a complete crisp. And some will look at the complicated instructions, completely panic, throw their hands up, and just order pizza. It's the gym membership all over again. It's the snack vendor on the track field. Providing the access to the recipe is literally the only thing you can objectively control.
Section 5. What we should aim for. Building a meaningful workplace. So if we shouldn't be expecting identical results, what exactly is the goal here? The author lays out 4 pillars for an ideal, healthy, functioning environment. Number 1, doors are open. That's your access. Number 2, bias is minimized. We ensure the playing field is actually flat. Number 3, growth is possible. The resources for development are there for anyone who wants them. And number 4, and this is perhaps the absolute most vital one, success is earned, not assigned. You have to actually run the race. You have to lift the weights. You have to step up and actually bake the soufflé.
Which brings us straight to the ultimate thesis of the source material. We don't need identical outcomes. We need meaningful chances. If you take away anything from this explainer today, let it be that. A meaningful chance respects the individual. It essentially says, look, we will remove the barriers, but we're not going to dictate your ending.
As we wrap up the explainer today, I want to leave you with the author's final, pretty provocative call to action. Should society focus on equal opportunity, or do we need to manage outcomes too? It's a massive question. It defines workplace culture, leadership, and honestly, human potential. The source lays out a really compelling argument for focusing heavily on access in meaningful chances, while just embracing the inconsistency of human outcomes. But what do you think? It's a debate absolutely worth having. Keep this framework in mind the next time you hear someone yell, "but fairness," and ask yourself, are we talking about the starting line or the finish line? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.